Welcome to Drunk Bible Study. This show's mission is to read every single word of the greatest story ever told. A warning to our listeners, the hosts of this show are sinners, but they're doing their best. There will be drinking and there may be some swears. They did say they'd try to keep it clean, but I wouldn't put my money on it.
I'm Emily, and this is Drunk Bible Study, where my good friends Jason Dedeker teach me, a born and raised atheist, all about the Bible. So, Jason Dedeker, how are we today? Dedeker, you go first. Yes.
We are calling you from the toxic wasteland that is the West Coast right now.
Yeah.
Yay.
Yeah.
As Jace observed a few days ago, at least now on the outside, it matches the way 2020 feels on the inside.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that.
Like with everything in this sepia tone and kind of hazy, definitely in the film version of 2020, that's the filter they're going to put on all the shots so that the audience knows and can feel how shitty it is.
We're like in the Wild West again somehow, but it's 2020.
But the toxic Wild West, the toxic zombie apocalypse Wild West.
There you go.
So I do want to apologize to our listeners beforehand. There will probably be a more than normal amount of coughing and clearing of throats. Because, boy, this air has really been irritating our sensitive passageways.
Yeah, I'm sneezing a lot today.
Yeah.
Just a ton. So we're going to try to get through it. It'll be fine. Yes.
But we're going to take comfort in, reading the Bible and drinking with our friends.
Yes.
And with all of you in the live audience. So at least we have this. This is the one good thing in 2020 is that Drunk Bible Study started doing live shows.
I think it's a great thing. Absolutely.
Very thematically appropriate because everything's this very biblical scale of catastrophe.
That's true.
And what a better time to drink and read the Bible.
What thing of Revelations is going to come today? I don't know.
Yeah, by the time we get to Revelations, it may all be sounding very familiar.
Yeah, we'll be like, wasn't that just a few years ago?
Oh my goodness. Wow. Well, we'll have to wait until that happens to see how closely it lines up. But in the meantime, I don't know, what did we talk about last week? Last week was a weird one.
A very, very weird one. Mm-hmm. A very odd one. There was that story of the lion and the donkey that didn't attack each other, and the prophet who was killed, but the lion didn't eat him, and then that weird other prophet in town who maybe deceived him to his death, but then was sad about it afterwards.
And
there were male prostitutes? I forget why. Were there male prostitutes?
Yeah, that happened later.
Okay.
So that was weird. The first chapter we read was that weird story about the two prophets and the donkey and the lion and all that. And then the next two chapters were just, and here was one king and this is why he was terrible. And here was another king and this is why he was all right. And then here was another king and this is why he was terrible. And it just kind of started rolling through them. And one of them was terrible in the Bible because of the male prostitutes, but A+ in Dedeker's Bible for the same reason. So
there you go.
Yeah, so it does seem like we're on this roll of sort of like Judges where there's a lot of stories back to back. I'm willing to bet these stories are probably going to be coming even faster and more furiouser. There's this king, turns out he was bad. Another king, turns out he was bad. Another king, turns out he was bad, until we find someone that Yahweh likes enough to stick.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Is that the whole thing of kings? Why there are multiple kings? There's got to be a lot, though, because we've got 2 whole books of this.
Yeah, I imagine there will be a lot. And yeah, I actually think that the comparison to the way that Judges worked, where it's just kind of like lots of different vignettes of different characters, I think it's going to be a lot like that. We kind of got a fake out at the beginning where it's like, oh, this is a book about King Solomon. And then
nope.
JK, he died like a third through the first book. So here we are.
Yeah. All right. Well, what are we drinking on this momentous occasion of a Thursday afternoon?
Well, today is a very exciting day. because I'm drinking some beer lao.
Oh, wow. How did you get that?
Oh my god. Okay, well, give us some context around beer lao first.
Yeah.
Totally. So beer lao is like the main export of the country of Laos, is beer lao. And you'd think it'd be whatever, but it's really good. It's really good. It's actually won a bunch of like German beer awards and things like that for like how pure and good and delicious it is. And as the listeners of this show know, I'm a big fan of drinks that kind of punch back as you try to drink them, like real coppery IPAs and things like that. But this is like an amber, like a lager, actually, like a real easy to drink lager, but just something about it. It's just really good.
Yeah. And Jason and I,
nostalgic.
we spent a month living in Laos and drank many pallets of beer lao.
No joke.
While we
No
were
joke.
there, because it was just like so good and so cheap. And we were there in the rainy season. It was just like so muggy and hot that it was very, very refreshing. And so we went to the Asian supermarket the other day, not at all expecting to encounter beer lao. And then I just spotted it in the corner of the refrigerator case, and we had a little freak out in the grocery store, and then
just
quickly
kinda
calculated
Bought a ton. Yeah.
how many
all of
how many
it.
can we fit in our arms.
I love it.
Yeah. So I'm
has been
drinking that
great.
today. And it's funny because for us, for years since we went to Laos, one of our jokes, our inside jokes is, you know what I could go for right now? And the answer is always a beer lao. It's like, yeah, I could go for a beer lao right now.
And now you can go get one out of the fridge.
Exactly.
It's lovely.
Yep.
Well, what are you having, Dedeker? Also a beer lao?
No, because I already had many in the past couple days, and I thought that maybe I should hold off for a second. So I'm having a hot apple cider that is spiked with a little bit of rum.
Oh, that sounds lovely.
Yeah, and I got my hot water from a Keurig machine, so it also tastes a little bit like coffee.
That sounds less delightful, but cool.
How about you, Em? What delicious, amazing hand prepared? Gosh, look at it. It's just beautiful every time.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
need to describe it to our listeners who are going to
Okay.
listen to the recorded version. It's like this beautiful ruby, pinkish red color with a lovely, looks like an egg white foam, although Emily's vegan, so it's probably not actual egg white, and a little mint sprig just on the end there, and this beautiful crystal goblet that she's holding up.
Yes. Yeah, so this is more of a festive drink, but I figured, what the heck, we're going to do it today. It's a cranberry and orange gin fizz. So aquafaba is what I used in place of an egg white, and then cranberry and orange juice, along with a little bit of agave and lemon juice, and then gin, and all shaken up and put in this beautiful goblet. And then,
Sounds
the mint
amazing.
is just... The mint is just there for the nasal effect, getting a little bit of
I see. Yeah.
nice
Some
aroma
aromatherapy.
as you sip. So
Yeah.
I highly recommend it. Yeah, I do love cranberry juice.
When I go commission some more art for our podcast, which I need to do, I'm definitely going to get some art of you with the most ridiculous floofy drink I can imagine. I think that'll fit
Please
nicely.
do.
No, yeah,
Yes.
actually, that would be good. We'll definitely need to get some images where it's like, me holding a beer and Dedeker has like a simple, whiskey soda or something, and then Emily's got this giant, ornate, fancy thing with 10,000 plants sprouting
Pineapple
out of
sticking
it.
out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
I love it. Yeah, tell them to make that happen for sure. Alrighty, so what are we doing today?
What are we doing today? That is a good question.
Probably reading some of the Bible for these lovely people.
Yes. Today, we're continuing on with 1 Kings chapters 16 through 18. If you want to read along with us, you can do so at drunkbiblestudy.com/read and type in 1 Kings 16 through 18. As we get started, we want to remind everybody to read responsibly and drink responsibly.
You can drink along with us, or you can listen while you're in the car.
But please do not do both at the same time.
And with that, 1 Kings 16. The word of Yahweh came to Jehu, the son of Hanani, against Baasha, saying, Because I exalted you out of the dust and made you prince over my people Israel, and you have walked in the way of Jeroboam and have made my people Israel to sin, to provoke me to anger with their sins, behold, I will utterly sweep away Baasha and his house.
Now, hold on one
no.
second. Do we
Yeah.
know who Jehu is?
No.
Okay. Wasn't just me. Good.
I mean, I do not.
Hanani?
Also, I don't think that's a name. I don't think Hananana is a name that we know either.
Banana. Okay.
Hanani. So
Or
Jehu.
Mananana, that's it. Yeah.
Right. I'm assuming then that Jehu here must be a prophet if the word of Yahweh is coming to him. That's what I would guess.
Is he
Okay,
also among
all right.
the prophets?
He might also be among the
Is
prophets.
Jehu also? Yes. Okay.
Right. Okay. So utterly sweep away Baasha and his house, and will make your house like the house of Jeroboam, the son of Nebat.
Which means what exactly? That like it's going to be no
Bad.
more.
It's
Well-
gonna be toast.
Yeah, remember Jeroboam was the one where he's like, none of you are going to get a good burial. You're going to get eaten by dogs in the street and all that kind of thing.
Cool.
So he's saying
Yeah.
that now Baasha is same thing's going to happen to him.
Jeez.
Look, here we go. Verse 4. Him who dies of Baasha in the city shall the dogs eat, and him who
Good.
dies of his in the fields shall the birds of the sky eat. Now, the rest of the acts of Baasha...
And he who dies in the ocean, the octopi will eat, and so on and so forth.
would be pretty good.
Big beluga whale. Yeah.
Now, the rest of the acts of Baasha, and what he did, and his might, aren't they written in the book of the Chronicles of the Kings
God
of Israel?
bless it. This shit
I don't
again.
know. Are they?
I think
I
we
got a drink.
We drink for repetition now. That
Yeah.
line hopefully comes back many more times.
Boy.
I
Yeah.
expect it will. Is it just going to be for the rest of this book, though? And then Kings 2 happens, and they're like, it's also written in the Book of Chronicles.
They might.
Kings 2. We open up
Return
to
of
Kings
the
2, and
King.
Return of the King, and it just has a footnote that's just like Sea Chronicles.
That'd be pretty good.
That would be great. We would
Yeah.
just go right through that book. It would
Yeah.
be very quick.
Baasha slept with his fathers and was buried in Tirzah, and Elah, his son, reigned in his place.
Wait, he did?
What?
Instead of, like,
what's the
getting-
issue?
Getting killed and...
Instead of his line ending.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That Elah didn't get eaten in the street, or maybe he will eventually. It's hard to say.
Cool. Okay.
Moreover, by the prophet Jehu, so yes, Jehu is also among the prophets, by the prophet Jehu, the son of Hanani, came the word of Yahweh against Baasha and against his house, both because of all the evil that he did in the sight of Yahweh, to provoke him to anger with the work of his hands, in being like the house of Jeroboam, and because he struck him. Wait, what?
What?
Baasha struck Yahweh? Confused.
Impossible.
I doubt that somehow.
I think this grammar's just weird.
What does the message say?
You're right. We should just go straight to the authorities here.
Like somehow the message has become the authority of this podcast.
Yeah.
That and all of our lovely listeners who know way more than we do.
Okay, so through the prophet Jehu, son of Hanani, God's word came to him and his regime because of his life of open evil before God and his making God so angry. A chip off the block of Jeroboam, even though God had destroyed him.
Wow.
Stinky apple doesn't fall far from the stinky tree, as they say.
I see. He's saying, like, even though Yahweh smote Jeroboam, that
Yeah.
Baasha was also like, yeah, I'll keep doing the same thing as him. Must have been a coincidence. And Yahweh's like, In the 26th year of Asa, king of Judah, began, and Asa we established Yahweh did like.
Yes.
Okay. Good boy.
So Asa's king of Judah, while Elah is the king of the rest
Everything
of Israel.
else.
Yeah. In the 26th year of Asa, king of Judah, began Elah, the son of Baasha, to reign over Israel in Tirzah, and reigned 2 years. Wow, only 2. Okay. His servant Zimri... Dedeker and I have been rewatching the Hobbit films, and this is 100% one
Like
of the
Gilmy-
dwarves.
or
Gimli.
Gimli.
Yeah.
Yeah, Zimri.
His servant Zimri, captain of half his chariots, conspired against him. Now he was in Tirzah, drinking himself drunk in the house of Arza.
Hold on. Asa was? Who was? Who was drunk?
No,
Us?
Zimri.
No, I think
Zimri.
Asa. I think Asa was.
Oh.
It is
Who was
confusing.
Zimri? Zimri's a servant?
Zimri is the captain of half of his chariots, just the left
Okay.
wheels of each chariot.
I love that. Wait, are
Okay.
chariots only 2 wheels? Is it like
They could be, yes.
Yeah, I guess I'm
Or is
thinking
it
of
like
the
a
Ben-Hur
tricycle?
chariots. It could be other
Yeah,
things.
a Ben-Hur chariot, I think, is only 2 wheels. I think it depends on the make and model, really.
okay, all right.
Okay, yeah, so this is confusing, but I think what it's saying is that his servant Zimri, captain of the left half of all his chariots, conspired against him. And then now he was in Tirzah drinking himself drunk. I'm assuming that's got to be Baasha now. Or, sorry, Elah.
Wait.
Elah, the son of Baasha, who's about to be betrayed by Zimri, son of Gloin.
But I thought that Zimri was Asa's captain.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Oh, yeah, okay,
Jace,
maybe...
you can't.
You're right.
You cannot lead us astray in this book.
Oh, gosh,
you
you're right.
cannot.
I don't know what's happening at all, so it's fine.
Okay,
Whatever.
so Zimri, son of Gloin, is the captain of the guard of Asa.
Stop.
So I think he was... So, okay, this must be Zimri who's getting drunk. Okay, that's a very dwarven thing to do. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, Zimri's getting drunk.
Drinking himself drunk in the house of Arza, who was over the household of Tirzah. So he's in
Great.
the enemy's country then, because Tirzah is
Okay.
where Elah reigns.
Okay.
And Zimri went in and struck him. No, so, okay, I was right, but for the wrong reasons. It is Elah
You were
getting
right,
drunk.
but for the wrong reasons?
It was Elah getting drunk.
And Zimri came to
Zimri came in and killed him.
smack him down.
Yeah.
Okay.
In the
Good Lord.
in the 27th year of Asa king of Judah, and reigned in his place. Oh.
And wait,
And Zimri
In
reigned in
Zimri's
Elah's place?
No, I think Zimri reigned in Elah's place because he killed
Yeah.
him.
that's what.
Yeah, because I think that old rule: you kill a king, then you.
You are the king. It's like the
Become a
Santa
king.
Claus.
It's like in Santa Claus. Great movie, by the way. I don't know
know,
about the second and third one, but
when Tim Allen killed Santa and then he had to become Santa.
Santa kind of just fell off the roof.
I don't know. I think it was kind of his fault.
That's
but-
arguable.
Yeah.
Arguable.
Okay. It happened when he began to reign. As soon as he sat
So
on
wait,
his throne.
is Zimri now played by
Santa
Tim
Claus.
Allen?
You're okay. Yeah.
I love
It's
it.
gotta be.
Or
Yes.
Zim Allen, as Brady
Zim
in the
Allen.
chat
Yes,
says.
that's good.
Okay.
Okay, Zim
right.
Allen.
Old
Yes.
man Tim Allen.
So it happened when he began to reign. As soon as he sat on his throne, he grew a long white beard. No, that he struck all the house of Baasha. He didn't
Whoa.
leave him a single man-child, neither of his relatives, neither of his relatives nor of his friends. Thus did Zimri destroy all the house of Baasha, according to the word of Yahweh, which he spoke against Baasha by Jehu the prophet, for all the sins of Baasha and the sins of Elah his son, which they sinned, with which they made Israel to sin, to provoke Yahweh, the God of Israel, yeah, we know, to anger with their vanities.
So by my
Well.
understanding, that definitely means that in the Santa Claus, the Santa that died had it coming because he was so sinful. And this is the way it was supposed to be.
Yeah, that Yahweh had it in for him. And he was like, you and all your children will die in people's driveways by falling off their roof. For anyone in the audience who hasn't seen the Santa Claus, you're really getting a lot of
Who's not
spoilers
seen
today.
that film? Come on. And it happens in like the first 10 minutes of the film. It's okay.
Okay,
How does that make it okay? Just because it happens in the
Well,
first 10 minutes of the film?
it's not a spoiler.
Well, it didn't happen
you
in
know.
the last 10
Okay,
minutes
okay,
of the film.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're
Like,
not leading up
that's-
to a climactic death of Santa.
That's the twist at the end. Santa's been dead the whole time.
Good Lord.
Okay, now the rest of the acts of Elah and all that he did, aren't they written in the book of the Chronicles of the Kings of Israel? Drink.
Drink.
Probably.
In the
Allegedly.
in the 27th year of Asa, king of Judah, did Zimri, son of Gloin, reign 7 days. 7 days in Tirzah.
Days.
Yeah.
It was a really like chop week of him reigning, and then he probably
Yeah.
died, right?
Well, let's see.
Or super died.
Now the people were encamped against Gibbethon, which belonged to the Philistines. The people who were encamped heard say, Zimri has conspired and has also struck the king. Therefore all Israel made Omri, It's another dwarf name. It's really good. Therefore, all Israel made Omri, the captain of the host, king over Israel that day in the camp.
Oh, so they were like, oh, Zimri killed our king. We need to pick a new king because it can't be this jerk.
Yeah, I think that's what they're saying, yeah.
Okay.
Omri went up from Gibbethon and all Israel with him, and they besieged Tirzah. It happened when Zimri saw that the city was taken, that he went into the castle of the king's house and burnt the king's house over him with fire and died.
What?
He killed the king or he killed himself?
No,
he killed
burnt it over him. I guess he realized that the tide was turning and there was no escape, and he's just like, fine, I'm going to take the house down with me. Gosh.
So that's what he did after 7 days?
Yeah.
You sound so disappointed.
No, I'm fine with it. Like, whatever he wants to do. But no, I just, that's, okay.
Okay, so
easier ways in which to kill oneself, but okay.
Well, but he wasn't going for ease. He was going for what's going to cause the most destruction to my enemy.
I see.
Yeah, I think that's the idea. Right. Yeah, he's like, if I can't have this house, no one can have this house. So he burnt the king's house over him with fire and died, comma. Now this part I'm a little confused who we're talking about. For his sins which he sinned in doing that which was evil in the sight of Yahweh, in walking in the way of Jeroboam, and in his sin which he did to make Israel to sin.
What did Jeroboam do exactly? Did he just worship false idols and
mostly that.
Was he the one who allowed male temple?
Yeah, it was
I think that too.
Men also.
Yeah, and tons of go-go dancers everywhere.
Cool.
Now
cages set up.
Yeah, exactly.
Where go-go dancers were enjoying themselves.
So I'm unclear if it's like the house of the king was burned because the king had been bad, or if it's somehow saying that Zimri in this 1 week helped fulfill Yahweh's prophecy, but then also immediately turned to worshiping these other gods. I don't know.
Yeah, in 7 days he just went hog wild.
Mm-hmm.
But you know how we could find out. Now, the rest of the acts of Zimri and his treason that he did, aren't they written in the book of the Chronicles of the Kings of Israel?
Aren't they? Everybody drink.
Then were the people of Israel divided into 2 parts. Half of the people followed Tibni, also a dwarf name, the son of Ginath, to make him king.
Also a dwarf name.
And half followed Omri. But the people who followed Omri prevailed against the people who followed Tibni, the son of Ginath. So Tibni died, and Omri reigned. Great. Good story.
They're dropping like flies. They're just going through them real fast here.
Yeah.
I mean, it's called Kings.
Yeah,
but
gotta get
they're not even important kings. They're just like random kings that ruled for 7 days and then lit themselves on fire.
Gosh.
Jeez.
In the 31st year of Asa, king of Judah, began Omri to reign over Israel, and reigned 12 years. 6 years.
Great. Good job, Omri.
Yeah.
Good.
6 years reigned he in Tirzah. Okay.
Why is Asa not allowed to rule everything? He's clearly doing a better job here.
That was God's punishment of Solomon.
Yeah.
That he would only be left
Solomon.
one tribe, just the tribe of Judah, and then the rest of Israel would go to somebody else.
Yep.
Okay.
He bought the hill Samaria of Shemer for 2 talents of silver, and he built on the hill and called the name of the city which he built after the name of Shemer. I'm going to go with Shemer.
Who is this again? Is it Omri still?
This is Omri, yeah.
Okay, all right.
I assume. He bought the hill of Samaria of Shemer for 2 talents of silver, and he built on the hill, and he called the name of the city which he built after the name of Shemer, the owner of the hill, Samaria. What? Okay, fine, whatever. He named it the same name as the hill that's named after the owner of it. Whatever. Omri did that which was evil in the sight of Yahweh.
Oh, Omri.
Yeah. And
what specifically does he do, though?
Well, I would assume it's just breaking all the rules that we've been given so far.
The many, many rules.
So,
okay, but it's not like even a big rule. Like, is he, making calves out of gold and worshiping them?
Maybe. He could be.
He's probably making some temples to other gods and maybe some calves. He's probably ordaining people to be priests that aren't Levites. He's probably being unclean, but walking around.
But also some of this,
Walking
some of this,
around.
as it's written, could be interpreted as a little bit of some foregone conclusions, especially when they don't specifically list what they did evilly.
Yeah.
Of that in history, they're just like, well, this person was overthrown or kind of lost control of the kingdom. Clearly, he was
he
evil.
was an evil man.
That's why Yahweh didn't let him succeed.
Okay.
Yeah,
Got
that's
it.
true. It could be revisionist. However, you could fact check this because I've heard that his deeds are written down in the book of the Chronicles of the Kings of Israel.
Chronicles of Narnia.
Just in the Chronicles of Narnia also. Okay, so he was bad, did evil in the sight of Yahweh. He dealt wickedly above all who were before him. For he walked in all the ways of Jeroboam, the son of Nebat, and in his sins with which he made Israel to sin, to provoke Yahweh, the God of Israel, to anger with their vanities. Now, the rest of the acts of Omri which he did, and his might that he shone, aren't they written in the book of the Chronicles of the Kings of Israel? Drink.
Aren't they? Aren't they?
So Omri slept with his fathers and was buried in Samaria, and Ahab, his son, gave it all up to hunt a whale. And Ahab, his son, reigned in his
F
place.
this.
Yeah, I'm getting that big white whale.
In the 38th year of Asa, he's just sort of our timekeeper.
Yeah, Asa's
Yeah.
just going strong.
Yeah, because he was a good boy. In the 38th...
He was, but his dad wasn't.
Right. So he only gets
What did
sort of
Solomon
half
do?
good.
Oh yeah, Solomon became a bad boy at the end.
He made all the temples and stuff,
Yeah, with all those ladies.
Yep.
Okay.
In the 38th year of Asa, king of Judah, began Ahab, the son of Omri, to reign over Israel. And Ahab, the son of Omri, reigned over Israel in Samaria 22 years. Holy moly, that's a lot. Ahab, the son of Omri, did that which was evil in the sight of Yahweh above all that were before him.
He was at
How-
sea most
how
of the
are we
time for
doing
those
this?
22 years.
We've only got a few more verses, but it seems like more of the same. So here we go.
Okay.
Here we go. He did evil in the sight of Yahweh above all that were before him. It happened as if it had been a light thing for him to walk in the sins of Jeroboam, the son of Nebat, that he took as wife Jezebel, the daughter of Ethbaal, king of the
Whoa,
Sidonians.
I've heard that name before.
Okay, well, hold on. Quick pause. What have you heard about Jezebel?
That it's a name that kind of is a bad, like those Jezebels.
Yeah.
Yeah, what does it
it's
mean?
a-
I mean, what does it mean?
I don't know, like ladies who are sinful in or sexual.
That's kind of the
Jezebel
connotation I've always had,
ladies.
yeah.
Yeah.
Manipulative. I've heard. Like, maybe,
Manipulative. Interesting. Okay.
yeah.
So to him it was like no big deal. He took his wife Jezebel, the daughter of Ethbaal, king of the Sidonians, and went and served Baal and worshipped him.
Oh, yeah.
He reared up an altar
Thought it was
for
no big deal, but it
Yeah.
was.
He reared up an altar for Baal in the house of Baal, which he had built in Samaria. Ahab made the Asherah. More Beyonce statues.
Well, but remember, Baal is played by Christian Baal.
Christian
Baal.
Baal, yeah. So Christian Baal and Beyonce both shown up again. That's good.
Yeah, good.
And Ahab did yet more to provoke Yahweh, the God of Israel, to anger than
Even
all.
more?
He did more than all the kings of Israel who were before him. In his days did Hiel the Bethelite build Jericho. He laid the foundation of it with the loss of Abiram, his firstborn, and set up the gates of it with the loss of his youngest son, Segub.
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 I'm sorry.
He was a real Segub. According
Little goob.
to the word of Yahweh, which he spoke by Joshua, the son of Nun. Wow, so we really did do a
Oh yeah,
callback to that.
Joshua was Jericho, right?
Yeah, Joshua
Yes.
fit the Battle of Jericho.
Yes, correct. And the walls came a-tumbling down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that's the
That's
end
the
of that
end?
chapter, yeah.
Whoa. That's a lot.
It's a lot of kings. A lot of kings coming and going.
Okay, so it's my turn, huh?
It is.
Okay, chapter 17. Elijah, the Tishbite, who was of the foreigners.
I'm sorry, the
of
what?
The Tishbite,
Tishbite. That's good. That's good. Okay.
who was of the foreigners of Gilead, said to Ahab, As Yahweh, the God of Israel, lives, before whom I stand, there shall not be dew nor rain these years, but according to my word.
So no precipitation whatsoever.
Nah, not even any dew.
Now,
Not even any dew.
now, hang on. Elijah's coming up and saying, like, by my word. Is he speaking on behalf
Well-
of Yahweh here, or is he just saying,
Who is
no,
this?
This is Elijah, the prophet Elijah of fame, the famed prophet Elijah. The famed...
Emily, you ever been to a Passover?
Probably. I don't know if we talked about Elijah, though.
Well, you got to save a spot for the prophet Elijah at a Passover. Yeah.
Are we going to find out why?
I would guess
not-
no.
not
in
today.
this. Yeah.
What? Oh, okay. Well, then...
We've only just been introduced to this character, and this is definitely a character we are going to have to cast because
Is
he's a big deal.
Passover going to happen in the
Well,
book?
Passover happened in Genesis.
Okay.
With no Exodus.
Exodus, sorry. Yeah.
Jeez, Jace.
Sorry, gosh.
Well, let's get to know Elijah at least a little bit.
Yeah,
And then we
we'll
can start talking
thinking-
about casting and all that.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. The word of Yahweh came to him, saying, Get you hence, and turn you eastward, and hide yourself by the brook Cherith, that is before the Jordan. Cherith, cute story. It shall be that you shall drink of the brook, and I have commanded the ravens to feed you there.
Whoa.
What?
Awesome.
The ravens are just going to, like, bring him food?
Now, I don't know if is he saying this to Elijah, or is he saying this to Ahab? He's got to be saying it to Elijah.
To Elijah. Yeah, God told
Okay.
Elijah. Yeah.
Yes, the ravens are going to feed you. What are
This
they
is
going to
awesome.
bring him?
This is so cool.
So he went and did according to the word of Yahweh, for he went and lived by the brook Cherith that is before the Jordan. The ravens brought him bread and flesh in the morning.
Gross.
Ew,
And bread.
and how nice of them?
It's like when your cat brings you a desiccated mouse or something.
Yeah.
And you're like,
Where, yes, exactly.
Thank
You're like,
you. Good
bread would be
kitty."
better.
And bread and flesh in the evening, and he drank of the brook. It happened after a while that the brook dried up, because there was no rain in the land.
No do.
The word of Yahweh came to him, saying, Arise, get you to Zarephath, which belongs to Sidon.
The Sidonians.
Which one is it,
The
Dedeker?
Sidonians. Sidon. I think we've gone with Sidon in the past. And dwell there. Behold, I have commanded a widow there to sustain you. She's going to bring bread and flesh in
Sustain
her
you
mouth.
how? Yeah, I was like,
I'm assuming,
So
it must mean feet. Okay.
So he arose and went to Zarephath, and when he came to the gate of the city, behold, a widow was there gathering sticks. And he called to her and said, Please get me a little water in a vessel that I may drink. And she said, I'm not your mother. Who the hell do you think I am?
yeah. She's like, I'm sorry, who are you?
As she was going to get it, he called to her and said, Please bring me a morsel of bread in your hand. Oh, this lady.
Gosh.
She's
Gosh.
like, ugh, another man wanting something from
I
me.
know. She said, As Yahweh your God lives, I don't have a cake, but a handful of meal in the jar, and a little oil in the jar. And behold, I am gathering 2 sticks, that I may go in and bake it for me and my son, that we may eat it and die.
Wow.
We
I remember
may
the
eat
story.
it and not die?
I remember
What?
the story now. It's all coming back to me. This is a Sunday school story.
Yeah. Here, let me read the message version so that we can really get the full picture of the story here.
I don't know this story.
She said, I swear, as surely as your God lives, I don't have so much as a biscuit. I have a handful of flour in a jar and a little oil in a bottle. You found me scratching together just enough firewood to make a last meal for my son and me. After we eat it,
Jeez.
we'll die.
What? This is
It's the last-
awkward.
It's
Real
all
sad.
they got.
Yeah.
It's sad. Yeah. Yeah.
Jeez.
Okay.
And
Elijah
Elijah's
said to her,
like, no. You're going to give it to me.
Gosh. You're going to give it to me and then die, actually.
Yeah. Jeez. Awful.
Oh
Okay.
boy. Elijah said to her, Don't be afraid. Go and do as you have said, but make me of it a little cake first.
Told you.
And bring it forth to me, and afterward make for you and for your son.
With the like scraps that you have left. Just like the teeniest cake.
The crumbs. For thus says Yahweh, the God of Israel, The jar of meal shall not empty, neither shall the jar of oil fail, until the day that Yahweh sends rain on the earth. She went and did according to the saying of Elijah, and she and he and her house ate many days. The jar of meal didn't empty, neither did the jar of oil fail, according to the word of Yahweh, which he spoke by Elijah.
Oh,
so it was a miracle.
sweet.
That was a pretty cool miracle.
Yeah.
We haven't seen
That
one
was
of those
cool.
in a while.
It has been a while, that's true.
I didn't know the miracle still happened in this world.
Maybe you can't the lion not eating the guy's corpse and not eating the donkey is a miracle? Or is it
he
just
was
a weird
full.
thing?
Maybe he was full.
Yeah, he just wasn't feeling it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, this is cool. I like this. I like that we've got some of the kind of badass miracle working going on again.
Some kind of
I'm
mystical
glad that
stuff.
anything happened except for being told that like this story is written in the Book of Chronicles.
That's true.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay. It happened after these things that the son of the woman, the mistress of the house, fell sick, and his sickness was so sore that there was no breath left in him. She said to Elijah, "What have I to do with you, you man of God? You've come to me to bring my sin to memory and to kill my son."
Oh,
What?
I
What does
think
that
now
mean?
She was probably impressed that he did make this prophecy.
The cool
and
miracle,
It was a
yeah.
miracle, but then she's like, "But you're not able to save my son who's sick now."
well, I think she's almost blaming him that like, oh, because you're here and by comparison we look sinful or something. So that's why my
Maybe,
son
yeah.
died. Maybe I
Whoa.
don't know.
Jeez.
Or like
He said to-
Yahweh pays attention where you are, and so he's going to see that we're bad. I don't know.
He said to her, "Give me your son." He took him out of her bosom, whoa, just out of her breast pocket there. Her tiny,
how,
tiny,
yeah,
her
how
tiny
small
little
is the
son.
sun here?
Yeah, little tiny Tim.
Whip.
Just put him in his pocket, little Jiminy Cricket, and carried him up into the chamber where he abode, and laid him on his own bed. He cried to Yahweh and said, "Yahweh, my God, have you also brought evil on the widow with whom I sojourn by killing her son?" He stretched himself on the child 3 times
Oh,
and cried to Yahweh and said, "Yahweh, my God, please let this child's soul come into him again." Yahweh listened to the voice of Elijah, and the soul of the child came into him again, and he revived.
Sweet.
Elijah took the child and brought him down out of the chamber into the house and delivered him to his mother. And
There you
Elijah
go.
said, "Behold, your son lives." The woman said to Elijah, "Now I know that you are a man of God, and that the word of Yahweh in your mouth is true." The end.
yeah.
What does that mean to stretch onto him again? Like
Yeah.
3 times? Did he do
Yeah.
like a little like child's pose onto him?
Or like a
Downward dog.
facing dog into a plank. And
Oh,
then
okay.
did a few like,
a
sun
chat-
salutations.
chaturanga.
Yeah.
Yeah, he like chaturanged all over him like 3 times, and then lo
Right.
and behold. Okay.
And that's the end of the chapter, huh?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. That was, I mean, cool. Miracles. I wrote down to look into the bonus. What's the deal with the stretching full length on the boy? That feels a little bit weird.
It reminds me of like friends that I have who are like parents of like autistic children. Sometimes having some just kind of like what's like kind of sensory overload moments, and kind of putting a weighted blanket or the weight of a person on them, like kind of that comforting weight, is helpful.
But those children are alive.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, it wasn't explicitly clear that the kid died.
Not
it
in that
was.
version. In the message, it did say the kid stopped breathing. In this, it said there was no
Okay.
breath left in him. I think that's
So maybe
what that
that's what it
means.
was. Maybe
Yeah,
he
getting him
was
to breathe,
giving
like
him.
compressing him.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
exactly.
He was doing like
That's
full
cool.
body CPR.
Yeah,
That's how they did it
we
back
should
then.
look that up
Yeah. Okay. We'll definitely look
Just
that
lay on
up.
top of
Try to
him.
figure
Yeah.
out. Yeah. That's cool.
for sure.
Well, before I hand this off to Emily to read our last chapter here, we want to take a moment to talk about the best ways that you can help support the show so that we can keep doing these live shows, keep making sure that they're free for everybody, and just keep having a fun time doing things.
Now we're gonna move on to 18, chapter 18.
Yeah.
Which
it's
is it?
a-
So it's a book and then a chapter.
Yes.
yes.
Yes,
Correct.
And
so
then a
this is
verse.
First Kings. Okay.
And this is
Do
a
you-
long one also, just so you know.
Oh, that's fine. No problem.
No
We
problem.
got this. Strap in, everyone. Okay. It happened after many days that the word of Yahweh came to Elijah in the 3rd year. In the 3rd year of what?
Of the drought, probably.
Oh, okay. saying, "Go, show yourself to Ahab, and I will send rain on the earth." Cool.
Oh, right, because remember
Elijah
he
went
had
to
said to Ahab, it's not going to rain until I say it will. So Yahweh's
Oh,
like,
okay.
now's the time. Go, 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 go.
No. Okay. So let's see. Elijah went to show himself to Ahab. The famine was sore in Samaria. Ahab called Obadiah, who was over the household. Now Obadiah feared Yahweh greatly, for it was so when Jezebel cut off the prophets of Yahweh that Obadiah took 100 prophets and hid them by 50 in a cave and fed them with bread and water.
Hold on.
What?
That was a lot of story that we did not get, and now they're summing it up in
all.
2 sentences. So this guy Obadiah, who's the head of the household, I guess we also learned that Jezebel tried to cut off, quote unquote, cut off, maybe execute or excommunicate or something, all the prophets. And then Obadiah was like, okay, I got this. I'm going to take 100 of them and hide them in a cave, 50 to 2 caves, I suppose.
Yeah, 50 in each.
Jeez.
And
Okay.
this must be covered in, it's got to be covered in Chronicles, right?
Isn't it?
Isn't
Isn't it?
everything? I don't
Yeah.
know. This entire book is like recovered in Chronicles.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Ahab called Obadiah. Ahab said to Obadiah, "Go through the land to all the springs of water and to all the brooks. Peradventure, we may find grass and save the horses and mules alive, that we not lose all the animals." Well, that's nice.
I mean, not okay. Yeah, I guess the people don't have access to any food, but we can at least get grass for the animals.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad that they give the animals some tasty treats. So they divided the land between them to pass throughout it. Ahab went one way by himself, and Obadiah went another way by himself. As Obadiah was in the way, behold, Elijah met him. Was in the way by himself? Or was he like, he happened to be in the way of Elijah?
I think being the way, on the way of the way that he was going. I think it just means he was going.
Yeah, okay. So as Obadiah was in the way, behold, Elijah met him, and he knew him, and fell on his face and said, "Is it you, my lord Elijah?" He answered him, "It is I."
Was he one of the 100 prophets that he hid, maybe?
No, but it seems like Obadiah seems to be a prophet fan.
Yeah,
You know,
he had the trading cards.
Exactly, big collector of prophets.
And Elijah is clearly like a big deal for sure.
Yes.
Cool.
Okay.
Okay.
It's like, this is a shiny prophet.
Yeah. He answered him, "It is I. Go tell your lord, behold, Elijah is here." He said, "Wherein have I sinned that you would deliver your servant into the hands of Ahab to kill me? As Yahweh your God lives, there is no nation or kingdom where my lord is not sent to seek you. And when they say, 'He is not here,' he took an oath of the kingdom and nation that they didn't find you."
Yeah, help, James.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
Okay. So Obadiah says, "What have I done to deserve this? Ahab will kill me. As surely as your God lives, there isn't a country or kingdom where my master hasn't sent out search parties looking for you." I see.
I'm gonna get in trouble.
Specifically, Elijah?
For Elijah, yeah.
Okay. Wow. Okay. So where am I? 11? Now you say, yes. Now you say, "Go, tell your lord, behold, Elijah is here. It will happen as soon as I am gone from you that the Spirit of Yahweh will carry you. I don't know where, and so when I come and tell Ahab and he can't find you, he will kill me. But I, your servant, fear Yahweh from my youth." What?
Okay, wow. Hold on.
Obadiah, what is Obadiah smoking?
Okay. Here's I'm going to read you some more of the message because this is just wild. Okay. So his servants went and whatever, couldn't find him. And now you're telling me, "Go and tell your master Elijah's found." The minute I leave you, the Spirit of God will whisk you away to who knows where. Then, when I report to Ahab, you'll have disappeared and Ahab will kill me. And I've served God devoutly since I was a boy. Hasn't anyone told you what I did when Jezebel was out to kill the prophets of God?
All right, geez, Obadiah. Calm
Yeah.
down.
Emily, you haven't gotten to this part
That's
yet.
where I am.
Yeah.
No, that's where I am right here. Okay, wasn't it told my lord what I did when Jezebel killed the prophets of Yahweh, how I hid 100 men of Yahweh's prophets by 50 in a cave and fed them with bread and water? Now you say, go, tell your lord, behold, Elijah is here and he will kill me.
Okay, wow, that's an interesting theory that Elijah's going to get whisked away.
Yeah. It's just sort of swoosh away to another.
Swooshed away.
Yeah.
Because he's going to be kept safe from the potential scariness.
I think
that is gonna
Obadiah's
happen?
saying that Yahweh's got your back. He's going to make sure you're safe, and
Yeah.
then I'm going to take the fall for it.
Right.
I see. Elijah said, as Yahweh of hosts lives, before whom I stand, I will surely show myself to him today. So Obadiah went to meet Ahab and told him, and Ahab went to meet Elijah. It happened when Ahab saw Elijah that Ahab said to him, is it you troubler of Israel?
Troubler.
The message says, so it's you, old troublemaker.
Ridiculous. He answered, I have not troubled Israel, but you and your father's house, in that you have forsaken the commandments of Yahweh, and you have followed the Baals. Now, it's true. Now, therefore, send and gather to me all Israel to Mount Carmel, and the prophets of Baal 450, and the prophets of the Asherah 400, who eat at Jezebel's table. So they're not really like giving a lot about Jezebel, but they're saying the name Jezebel a lot.
Just that she's a bad lady.
Bad
'cause she's
lady.
killing these prophets of Yahweh.
Yeah, that she's been.
Yeah.
You know what though? I'm impressed though that she's kind of in charge of all these things. It seems like
That's
she's,
true.
Yeah, that's kind of
She's
cool.
a lady.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Ahab sent to all the children of Israel and gathered the prophets together to Mount Carmel.
So he just did.
Elijah-
It. He's just like, okay, all
He's
right,
like,
you make
cool.
a good point. Sure, I'll do that.
Eliza. I keep doing that. I'm like, Eliza. Yeah, I'm like, nope, that's not what it is. Elijah came near to all the people and said, how long will you waver between the two sides? If Yahweh is God, follow him. But if Baal, then follow him.
Oh, I remember this story too.
Then
This is a good
what happened,
story.
Emily? What happened?
Okay. The people answered him not a word. Then Elijah said to the people, I only am left a prophet of Yahweh, but Baal's prophets are 450 men. Let them therefore give us two bulls.
Right. This old chestnut. Yeah. Okay.
And let them choose one bull for themselves, and cut it in pieces, and lay it on the wood, and put no fire under. And I will dress the other bull, and lay it on the wood, and put no fire under.
Okay.
Okay.
So we've cut up two bulls. Elijah cut up
Sad.
one. The prophets of Baal cut up the other, and we've put
Okay.
it on wood, but no fire.
But nothing under it.
Yeah. No
Okay.
fire.
You call on the name of your God, and I will call on the name of Yahweh, and the God who answers by fire, let him be God.
It's a
Like,
test.
So like God?
Yeah,
like
God,
real
God.
God.
The real
Okay.
God.
Like the strongest god. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's world's strongest god competition. right here.
But like again, they're acknowledging that other gods exist, which is very interesting.
Well,
so
Or are they just saying that they're false gods?
that's kind of saying that like the one that's the real god, the other one's fake. So this I did learn, and I think we talked about this maybe a little bit a couple bonus episodes ago, but that at the time that this was being written, which is also much later than it happened, was during the reign of a king who was really pushing for monotheism, as opposed to
interesting.
in this day when the Israelites were more polytheistic, there were multiple
Yeah.
gods. But this is now sort of written later on, so it's possible
as
that
like a
that's been
propaganda tale.
right. It's
Yeah,
possible
so
that's
they're-
been sort of changed a little bit. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. You call on the name of your God, and I will call on the name of Yahweh, and the God who answers by fire, let him be God. All the people answered, it is well said. Elijah said,
Well said, good man.
Well done.
Good,
Golf
good,
clap.
yes.
Jolly
Golf
good.
Golf clap.
Elijah said to the prophets of Baal, choose one bull for yourselves and dress it first. or for you or many, and call on the name of your God, but put no fire under it. I mean, yeah, they just, what? We're saying this again? They took the bowl, which
Wait, I think
was
he's saying,
given
like,
them.
you go first. You go first.
Oh, okay.
All y'all.
They took the bowl which was given them and they dressed it and called on the name of Baal from morning even until noon, saying, Baal, hear us. But there was no voice. Baal, hey, what's up? Anything? But there was no voice.
Now, the funny thing is, in my imagination, I actually imagined The Rock and Christian Bale hanging out together and actually having a pretty good time.
Do you hear them
And he's like,
calling you? Bale's like, nah, don't worry about it. Like,
yeah, he's like, they don't rely on me for miracles like your people rely on you. It's fine. No
Right.
problem. So
Brady in chat said Christian Bale's got headphones on, so he doesn't
Yeah, he
hear him.
definitely
I love
does.
that.
Yeah. He's got his gaming headphones on. He's playing video games.
Yeah.
So there was no voice, nor any who answered. They leaped about the altar which was made.
Well, yeah. Okay. I love this.
They were 450 lords a leaping.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
It happened at noon that Elijah mocked them and said, Cry aloud, for he is a god. Either he is musing, or he is gone aside, or he is on a journey, or peradventure he sleeps and must be awakened, or he's playing the latest AAA video game. I don't know.
Oh my gosh. Can I read the message real quick? This is his taunt in the message.
I cannot wait to hear the message's version of these taunts.
Call a little louder. He is a god after all. Maybe he's off meditating somewhere or other.
Oh.
Or maybe he's gotten involved in a project. Or maybe he's on vacation. You don't suppose he's overslept, do you? And needs to be waked up. Wow.
There you go.
Lovely. Bless this mess.
They cried aloud and cut themselves after their manner with knives and lances until the blood gushed out on them. Whoa.
Jeez.
Wow.
Yuck.
Rough.
It was so when midday was past that they prophesied until the time of the offering of the evening offering. But there was neither voice, nor any to answer, nor any who regarded. Elijah said to all the people, Come near me. Come near me. And all the people came near to him. He repaired the altar of Yahweh that was thrown down. Why was it thrown down?
I think people smashed it because they were partying too hard with Baal and Beyonce.
Okay. He repaired the altar that was thrown down. Elijah took 12 stones, according to the number of the tribes of the sons of Jacob, to whom the word of Yahweh came, saying, Israel shall be your name. With the stones he built an altar in the name of Yahweh, and he made a trench about the altar, as great as would contain 2 measures of seed.
Seed?
Like what
Seed?
kind of seed?
It's a very important question to ask. What's the message say?
Then Elijah dug a fairly wide trench around the altar. He laid firewood on the altar, cut up the ox.
Hold on.
That's it. No, that's it.
So
the
they
message
didn't
just
say
says
anything
fairly
about
wide.
the seed.
Well, he says fill 4 buckets with water and drench both the ox and the firewood. I think that's
doesn't
what we're
mean
talking
But this
about.
says 2 measures of seed.
Read before that.
And he made a trench about the altar as great as would contain 2 measures of seed.
Yeah, what do you want, Jace? What are you trying to get out of this?
It's not talking about, there's not seed in it, but just that
Okay,
it could
it's just like it would
contain that
contain-
much.
That's the volume?
That's the size.
That is so confusing.
That's the size
Okay.
of the trench. Come on, it's obvious.
Okay,
the size
It
of
is not. This book does not use a lot of like abstract explanations of things.
Sure it does. For weights and measures,
It's very
I feel
precise.
like... Okay, fine. No, this is
Okay.
a standard. It's a standard measurement for trenches. You just didn't know that. Trenches are all measured in
No, we didn't,
their
actually.
seed, their
Thank
seed
you.
volume. Yeah.
All right. 33. He put the wood in order and cut the bowl in pieces and laid it on the wood. He said, Fill 4 jars with water and pour it on the burnt offering and on the wood. He said, Do it the second time, and they did it the second time. He said, Do it the third time, and they did it the third time.
So they just poured a ton of water.
So much water.
So like nothing could light on fire, but God's going to make it happen. The water ran round, not around, ran round about the altar, and he filled the trench also with water. It happened at the time of the offering of the evening offering that Elijah the prophet came near and said, Yahweh, the God of Abraham, of Isaac, and of Israel. Let it be known this day that you are God in Israel, and that I am your servant, and that I have done all these things at your word. Hear me, Yahweh, hear me, that this people may know you, Yahweh, our God, and that you have turned their heart back again. Then the fire of Yahweh fell and consumed the burnt offering and the wood and the stones and the dust and licked up the water that was in the trench.
Wow, it really personified that fire in a weird way. Okay.
It did. It's like licking everything. When all the people saw it, they fell on their faces.
Yeah, it's been a while since someone's fallen on their face. That used to be one of your favorites.
Somebody before fell on their face.
Oh, did they? Okay.
Yes, the person who saw Elijah. I don't know who that person was, but he fell on his face.
Obadiah?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was
Obadiah.
it. Okay.
Yeah. So they fell on their faces and they said, Yahweh, he is God. Yahweh, he is God. And Elijah said to them, take the prophets of Baal. Don't let one of them escape.
He's not going to let him go down easy.
Yeah, what's going to happen? The predictions?
Dead.
They're going to die.
Dead, yeah.
Dead. So dead. Extra dead. Yeah.
They took them and Elijah brought them down to the brook of Kishon. The brook Kishon, and killed them there. Yikes.
Yes, great.
Wow, 450.
Jeez, did Elijah kill all of them?
Just methodically.
Yep.
Elijah said to Ahab, get you up, eat and drink, for there is the sound of abundance of rain. He was like, here it is, it's raining. Look what I did.
Talk about some dramatic timing.
Seriously. Well, I mean, I think that was the whole point. It was like, we're going to show that we're God, that we're the real God, and then it's going to rain for all y'all. So Ahab went up to eat and drink. Elijah went up to the top of Caramel, and he bowed himself down on the earth and put his face between his knees.
Oh, so he's doing like a deep child's pose there.
Yeah.
Like
Face between his knees. That's like
not
a
even
weird,
a
like
child's pose.
It's like a reverse camel or something.
No, I think
Face between his knees.
I think this is just a child's pose. I think it's just a child's pose.
Your face doesn't go completely.
Yeah.
It goes beyond your knees.
Your
for
face
a
has nothing to do
pose.
with your knees in child's pose. What are you talking about?
All right. So, all right, sure. More of it curled
If
down.
he's sitting down,
Sean says brace for impact. It's like he's on an airplane and he's like, okay.
But if he's sitting, not if he's like kneeling already on the ground, that would be challenging. He said to his servant, go up now, look toward the sea. He went up and looked and said, there is nothing. He said,
so he's
got a
servant,
7 times.
He's got a servant boy with him. He's just like,
why did you do that?
Yeah.
He said, go again 7 times. It happened at the 7th time that he said, behold, a small cloud, like a man's hand, is rising out of the sea. There it
very,
is,
very
little
small
hand.
cloud. Yeah.
It's more of a poof, really.
Yeah. He said, go up, tell Ahab, make ready your chariot, and get you down, that the rain not stop you. It happened in a little while that the sky grew black with clouds and wind, and there was a great rain. Ahab rode and went to Jezreel, and the hand of Yahweh was on Elijah, and he girded up his loins and ran before Ahab to the entrance of Jezreel.
He ran?
I don't know, that's what it says.
Wasn't Ahab on a chariot?
Yeah. But Yahweh
yeah.
like, gave him super running powers right there.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And that's is that it? Is that the end?
Yeah, that's it. It's super it.
Whoa.
Can I read you the ending from the message real quick?
Please do.
So the sky grew black with wind-driven clouds, and then a huge cloudburst of rain, with Ahab hightailing it in his chariot for Jezreel. And God strengthened Elijah mightily. Pulling up his robe and tying it around his waist, Elijah ran in front of Ahab's chariot until they reached Jezreel.
So he like hiked up his skirts and everything.
Why are they going to Jezreel?
We don't know yet.
Okay.
I think it was like to get shelter from the rain, maybe. Like this rain was going to be so heavy.
No, they're probably going to do something fun there.
Yeah.
But
or maybe Ahab's trying to escape from like God's wrath because he knows that God's going to be angry at him now.
Well, so what did he say to his servant, Emily, in verse 44?
I totally just
Did you just
got
close
rid
it?
of
Okay, here
No,
I'll
wasn't
find
he-
it.
Whoops.
So when he saw that the small
He
cloud
was like,
a
get
hand,
over there. Yeah, he told him to look at it, and then the servant looked at it 7 times or
right?
something.
But then he said, "Go up, tell Ahab, make ready your chariot, and get you down, that the rain not stop you." So I do think it's like you got to get home before the rain comes, and
Like it's gonna be so intense that if you're caught out in this rain, it's gonna be bad news.
Yeah,
Is
I
it going to
think
be
that's-
like Noah Part 2?
Gosh,
No,
maybe.
nope. Yahweh promised.
He did promise, but he could still scare him.
Yeah, a little fake out. Okay.
Cool. All right.
Yeah.
That was
that's
the
it. Wow.
story.
Okay. Gosh. So
Okay, now Elijah, this is exciting. This is
yeah.
a major character.
I know this is awesome.
I thought that Elijah came much further.
Oh, really?
along in the book. I did not recall that Elijah was a First Kings kind of boy.
Well, how far along are we in this First Kings?
Oh,
Only
that's a
on
good question.
18. Yeah.
Yeah, we're on 18 Kings. First Kings only goes to 22. So we've only got
okay.
two more episodes of
Okay.
First Kings, and then we're on to Second Kings.
Whoa, so
Yeah.
fast.
Yeah, I know.
That's really
Seriously.
fast. Goodness.
Yeah.
Cool.
So and then so Elijah's going to be in Second Kings a little bit as well.
Yeah,
I
he's
don't
gonna
know
carry
how
us
much
through.
exactly, but he's going to be around for a while.
Awesome.
Nice.
Oh, and I think he's
He's
also going to
lasting
show up
way
in some
longer
of.
than many of these kings.
I think he's going to be in some of Chronicles too, which makes sense if it's kind of telling these same stories again. Real quick, we can talk about this more in the bonus, but I did want to hear from the people in the live show if you have suggestions for casting of Elijah, so we can consider
Right.
this. I think we'll talk about it more in the bonus and try to come up with who it would be. I know that comparisons to The Hobbit were made because of all the running around in the forest, so Martin Freeman was suggested.
Love
Elijah
him.
Wood also could be a good choice there, and that he's dealing with all the dwarves. Like that kind of makes sense. I actually really like Idris Elba as a suggestion. That's pretty good.
Have we not put him in anything yet?
We haven't. He's been
No.
suggested for other roles before.
Okay.
But this could be a good enough
Sure.
one. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. So if anyone else has other ideas, let us know, and we can talk about those more in the bonus.
Well, everybody, thank you so much for joining us for Bible study today. If you want even more Drunk Bible Study, including ad-free episodes, early releases, personal toasts on the show, and more, become one of our patrons at patreon.com/drunkbiblestudy. If you enjoy the show, take a moment to subscribe and then write us a nice review on iTunes or Stitcher, letting other people know what you like about it. You can also join fellow listeners in the Drunk Bible Study Fans and Fellowship Facebook group. Find us on Twitter at DrunkBibleCast, on Instagram at Drunk Bible Study, or send us an email to info@drunkbiblestudy.com. Drunk Bible Study is created and produced by Jace Lindgren, Emily Matlack, and me, Dedeker Winston. Our theme song is Book Club by Josh and Anand from their album Home of the. For more information, visit us at drunkbiblestudy.com.